Welcome to NeoEnglish, the podcast where you learn English with real news. Today we're talking about space and a new rocket called the Vulcan rocket.
That's right. There's a problem with this rocket because the U.S. Space Force hasn't approved it yet. Let's break it down so everyone can understand.
First, ULA, which stands for United Launch Alliance, is a company that builds rockets. They made a new rocket called Vulcan.
A rocket is a big machine that flies into space. People use rockets to send satellites, supplies, or even astronauts into space. For example, NASA uses rockets to send people to the International Space Station. Another example is SpaceX, which sends satellites into space with its Falcon rockets.
Good examples. Now, the Vulcan rocket was supposed to take off soon, but it needs approval from the U.S. Space Force.
Approval means permission to do something. If someone gives you approval, they say, yes, you can go ahead. For example, if you want to build a house, you need approval from the city government before you start. Another example is getting approval from your boss before taking a vacation.
Exactly. The problem is, the Space Force is still reviewing the rocket. Reviewing means checking something carefully.
Yes, when you review something, you look at it closely to make sure it is good or correct. For example, teachers review students' homework before giving a grade. Another example is when companies review job applications before hiring someone.
So because of this review, ULA had to remove the Vulcan rocket from the launch pad.
A launch pad is the place where a rocket stands before it takes off. Think of it like the starting line for a race. For example, NASA's rockets sit on a launch pad before going into space. Another example is when SpaceX prepares a rocket, it stays on the launch pad until it's ready to go.
That's a great way to explain it. Now let's summarize. ULA built the Vulcan rocket, but it can't fly yet because the U.S. Space Force is reviewing it. So ULA had to take the rocket off the launch pad.
And here are some words and phrases we learned today.
Rocket, a machine that flies into space, like NASA's space rockets.
Approval. Permission to do something like getting approval from a boss for a vacation.
Review, checking something carefully, like reviewing homework or a job application.
Launch pad. The place where a rocket stands before it takes off, like a starting line for space missions.
Great job, everyone. Thanks for listening to NeoEnglish, and have a fantastic day.
Keep practicing English, and see you next time. Have a great day.